Hey, what's up, guys? Node Investor here. Want to bring a quick update following the drama, the news, the FUD that we continue to see in the crypto space. It's nothing new and it's never going to go away, but nonetheless, it does impact the price, it does impact sentiment. Going into the weekend, we were knocking on the door of $10,000 Bitcoin. We were unable to see it get over that with any sort of meaningful movement. That 9,800 area continues to be an area of resistance. And then we had a report from the Wall Street Journal last week talking about the CFTC and the SEC here in the United States. We're going to be meeting to examine whether ETH and other cryptos should be regulated as securities. So leading into the weekend, that was on everyone's mind. Yesterday, we saw some selling start to show up on Bitcoin in most alts. And some of that was in anticipation of this reported meeting, which now sounds like was probably a non-event. There's nothing scheduled. There's been no official acknowledgement of any sort of working group meeting or anything along those lines. So maybe this was FUD. This did come from the Wall Street Journal, so there was reason to believe that their sources were to be trusted, but nonetheless, there's been no official meeting, no official word yet on that, but it was reported across all of the media channels, all of these crypto news outlets, even CNBC. And then over the weekend, Berkshire Hathaway had their annual shareholder meeting this weekend, and of course, Warren Buffett continues to talk down on Bitcoin, and he had some pretty strong words to say, as usual, as well as Bill Gates chiming in saying he would short it if he could. Well, Mr. Gates, you can short Bitcoin, so if you'd like to, it's certainly there. I believe there are going to be plenty of others on the other side of that trade, and so that's there. But the FUD continues. The anti-Bitcoin sentiment from the big money crowd establishment on some aspects, the older investment types, certainly is there. But nonetheless, let's take a look at the charts. Let's see what we have to look at today. Near term, news catalysts aside, FUD aside, all of that. At the end of the day, I'm watching the charts. My belief is the sentiment, the news, the latest information is all baked into the price. And so that's ultimately what I'm watching here. So whether that news was real or not, whether the meeting's going to happen or not, the price is seeing a little bit of a downtrend. We saw that sell-off start off over the Friday, Saturday evening my time. This continued. We rallied yesterday, a little bit of a bear flag right into that moving average on the 4-hour, and then some big volume selling showed up right after that. And here we are today, a little bit of the similar action. So near term, the level that we want to see it get above is around that 94.50 area. That's going to be the first test here in the next couple of hours. Going into the 1-hour chart, however, on the positive, you can see there's been this area of support being established with some very big volume coming in on this shakeout down to that below 9,200 mark. And so a lot of volume showed up there. So the first test is going to be, can we get out of this little bit of a range? But ultimately, I'm going to be watching that 4-hour chart to see if this is just not another bear flag bounce, and then we'll see another leg down. So that's going to be the first test today. If we can break above that, that would be positive. We'll start to shift this broader downtrend that's been in place here for the last couple of days. But if you go to the big picture here, looking at the daily chart, it's right at the 10 EMA. This current daily candle still has around 6 hours, 5.5 hours left to go at the time of this recording. And so a lot can happen in that time frame. This could result into a big support candle. If we see the prices continue to rise, you'll have a big wick. The price will close above the 10 EMA. That'd be very bullish. Even if it doesn't turn green, even if it remains red, just seeing the support volume come in would be very strong action. On the flip side, if we continue to see some sell-off and we close near the lows around 9,200, that's going to signal some more downside action. Now, looking at the big picture, right, we've had a strong move over the last 4 weeks. Would not be unusual to see a little bit of pausing, some profit taking, some pulling back. And so if we do, there's a couple of levels to watch. Doing a quick fib retracement first. That first key fib level is around 8,800. Right here it's showing 87.22. So in and around this zone, which also happens to be a very strong level of support that was established here over the course of about a week and a half or so. You can see multiple attempts around this level. A lot of support showed up here. This is around 8,800. And so that little zone there between 87, 8,800, that's going to be the first level to watch as a very strong support level. The psychological 9K mark will also be kind of near-term support, but we came close to that here recently. So anywhere in this zone is really the first level I'm watching. If things really start to move fast below that, then the next level is this base, this support that formed around 8,400. Now personally, I'm not looking for that level yet. I'm thinking we would hold up here, but if we do see some further selling, even a pullback to that would not be the end of the world per se. It'd just be a big pullback, higher low formed, testing this. On the weekly side, price has remained above the 10 EMA on the weekly. So we've had a strong rally. You can see there's been 5 green weeks in a row. 2 weeks ago was the first time it went above the 10 EMA in several months, and now we've held that for 2 weeks. So it's going to be interesting to see if we can continue to remain above that level. And right now that level is basically 9K, so on a closing basis for the week. But near term, this is the level I'm watching. I'm watching to see if we can get out of this little bit of a consolidation that we've been in here on this hourly chart. Moving above that 9,400, 9,450 would be the first test, and then ultimately getting back into the 9,500, breaking this range and starting a series of higher lows. So that's going to be the level to watch. Let's see if we can take another run at 10K here in the coming weeks. But for now, just going to be watching this here near term. Today's going to be important to see how this plays out and whether or not we have found the low in this little bit of a pullback. So I will drop another update. There are certainly some alts to be watching here in the meantime. EOS USD, I'm watching this break out of this little bit of a downtrend it's been in, finding support at that moving average. A lot of volumes coming in, so keep an eye on that one. We've seen some other names pull back very constructively, still looking very strong. Icon having a nice pullback here, looking like it found a low. You can see on the 4-hour chart showing a lot of strength here. And there's a handful of names that are just continuing to look strong all around. Ontology right near the highs again and looking like it wants to try to make another run for new highs. So there's, it's not all bearish across the board. It's definitely mixed. There's been a lot of strength here today, even with the pullback in Bitcoin and Ethereum. And you can see Pivx having a strong move, a lot of volume coming in. And so there's quite a few names. I can keep going here, but I just wanted to show you guys some examples here. VeChain's another one that's looking pretty good all around, like in this daily chart that it's forming. So look for those setups, those secondary entries, those strong moves off of the lows. But ultimately, Bitcoin and some of the action there is going to drive a lot of the sentiment near term. But the alts are signaling that they want to start moving higher again. So that could be a good early signal. But for now, I'll be watching that 4-hour 10 EMA on the Bitcoin charts. Thanks for watching, everyone. Hit that like button. Remember to subscribe. Until next time, take care.